microphone. But a very, very big welcome to Lambeth Academy. We want to make sure you leave this evening with a really good picture of what we're about. Ask as many questions as you want, go into as many rooms as you want to go into, toilets, wherever there's a door, feel free to try and open that door. They should all be open. If they're locked, it's an office, and we've just locked an office. But we want you to have a really good explore around so that when you leave here, you haven't got any questions that you haven't answered. Now, to introduce myself, I'm Jan Shaddock. I'm the Executive Principal here, which means I am based here, but I also offer support for other schools within the United Learning Group. So I'm not here every single day, but I'm responsible for the strategic direction of the school. If I can just introduce you to Miss Shepherd. Miss Shepherd is here every day, and she is the head teacher, and obviously she is responsible for making sure that day to day everything continues at a high standard and continues to improve. Now, we will be around at the end of this discussion, so please feel free to ask myself or Miss Shepherd any questions that you've got. Now, hopefully in the next 15 minutes or so, I'm going to give you a flavour of what Lambeth Academy is all about. I know this time for you guys is stressful, it's difficult. Some of you have been through this before, some of you this will be the first time. And you get bombarded with information, and at the end of the day, you make your choice and you hope it's the right choice. And there's a lot of similarities between schools. One of the really good things you've got is in Lambeth and Wandsworth, you've got some fantastic schools. You've got great schools to choose from, and I think every single school is at least a good school. So what I'm going to focus on is, why would you choose Lambeth Academy? What makes us different? The first thing I think I would say about Lambeth, and again, many of you have heard me say this before, we are a happy school. We enjoy what we do here. Now that seems a very simplistic thing, but actually for me, it's fundamentally important. Because if the staff are happy here and enjoy what they do, they are going to be wanting to be the best practitioners they can possibly be. Our young people can only benefit from that. If our young people are happy and enjoy coming to school, they're going to feel safe, they're going to feel secure, which of course means they are going to fulfill their potential. Potential not just academically, but also for them as young people. So although that's a very simple statement to make at the very beginning, for me it is the most important thing. A lot of time is spent at school, both for the adults and for the young people. So it's really important that we enjoy being here together and we're happy here, because we will feel safe, we will feel secure, and then we will be the very, very best that we can be. Our mission is to be exceptional. Now that is about being as good as we can possibly be in anything we're doing, in or out of the classroom, but in a unique way. So it's deliberately written as that. It's not about being outstanding, it's about being exceptional, because that's being great, but in a unique way. And I think Lambeth Academy is unique. And if you come and see us during the school day, and I would actively encourage you to do that. I know some of you came on Tuesday and have been before. If you haven't, and you're not sure whether you will or not, I would encourage you to come and see us. You can come, you can look around the school, you can go into classrooms, and I think you will feel that there's something different about Lambeth Academy. Every visitor to this school, without exception, says when they leave, what a great school. It's got a lovely feel. And that's about the people in the building, young people and adults, and it's about our mission to be exceptional. We encourage our young people and our staff to be individuals. We don't believe in controlling children. We have very clear behaviour for learning policies, because we have to. We have to make sure, with 1,000 teenagers on site, that we all know why we're here, and that's to learn and for the teachers to be able to teach. So we have a very clear policy, and we are very, very strict in enforcing that policy. But we don't control children. We recognise they're individuals. So there are some schools that have a behaviour for learning policy that is zero tolerance, but actually it's about controlling children. The reason we don't control children is they will never learn to become independent young adults. If we can motivate them and that positive attitude to learning becomes intrinsic, it will stay with them. And that's a fundamental part of what we do. It's important to us that we make sure our young people are compelling individuals. Now that statement comes from somewhere, it comes from research. Young people leave, they go into the world of work, they go into higher education, they go into apprenticeships, they hopefully go into whatever it is they want to go into. It's a competitive world out there. And if you ask businesses, what do you want in the young people that come and apply for jobs at your business? Yes, they want a decent academic standard, they want to know they're numerate, they're literate, they've got general knowledge. But they want much, much more than that. And there was a bit of research done a few years ago to try and look at what are those key things that businesses want. There were hundreds of them. When it came down to it, the CBI did this research. They said, actually, what we're looking for are compelling individuals. Somebody that will hold our attention. So we know that our young people will go for interviews alongside other people from all walks of life. They'll have the same academic qualifications as them. Something has got to distinguish our young people from them. Why choose them and not somebody else? And that is about making them compelling individuals. So a really key part of what we do is, yes, academic standards, but equally important, compelling individuals. So that when they leave Lambeth Academy, they can go out there and be confident to go for what they want to go for, to change the world if they want to change the world, to really play a part in the world in which they live, and to hold their heads up high in any situation they find themselves in. That is just as important to us as the academic qualifications. So everything we do here, and I'm going to talk about, is about preparing our young people to be compelling individuals. 3 key ingredients to that: great teaching, a really strong curriculum, and an ethos that underpins everything we do. So our vision, and if you've looked on our website, you'll see our 5-year plan. In fact, we're in year 5 of our 5-year plan, so we're going to be starting discussions about what do the next 5 years hold for Lambeth Academy very shortly. But our 5-year plan says we want to have exemplary teaching. So everything we do at this school is about ensuring that we have the best teaching possible. If it's not going to impact on that, we don't do it. Every adult in this building is a teacher, regardless of their role in this school. So we teach in and out of the classroom. Our young people learn in and out of the classroom. So it's not just about pedagogy and subjects and qualifications. It's also about, if you fall out with a friend, how are we going to put that right? How are we going to learn from that? If you get something wrong, how are we going to learn from that? If you're late to your lesson, how are we going to learn from that? And that's the language that we use. And you'll see posters on classrooms to be the best version of yourself. Now that came from our young people. We piloted it with Year 9 last year. The head of year did some work with them, and it was so impressive across the school, we decided we would roll it out across the school. So if something happens, somebody's maybe misbehaved in a class and not been the best version of themselves, or forgotten a piece of equipment, or fallen out and not handled an argument particularly well, we will take them to that poster and say, look, this is what you said was the best version of yourself in the classroom and out. Have you been the best version of yourself? And if they say no, we then talk about what's gone wrong. Most importantly, how can we get that better? That's all about great teaching. So our teachers, our qualified teachers, are highly qualified. When we interview them, not only do we ensure they've got the academic rigour behind them, but are they the right people to work at Lambeth Academy? That's really important to us. And if they're not, we don't appoint them. So over the last few years, we have had a high turnover of staff. We have gone out and recruited staff, but there's been a very specific reason for that. And we have staff in this building now that are absolutely on board and up for the job that we've got with our young people. Those pictures are real pictures. So we're active. Again, it's not about controlling children. So you will not walk our building during the school day and hear absolute silence. It will be calm, it will be focused, but there'll be a buzz of learning. Yes, of course, if they're doing an assessment or something that requires silence, they'll be silent for that time. But actually there's a real buzz and thirst for learning. So that great teaching is impacting on great progress. So these are our level 3 Key Stage 5 results last year. And they've been like this for a few years. They're high quality. So half of the grades that we get at level 3 at Key Stage 5 are an A star and A. Nearly 60% A star to B. 81% of them A star to A. So the vast majority of the grades at A level or at level 3 qualifications are C and above. And of course, everybody passes. There isn't anybody who failed any qualification. The average point score is the average grade that the students are getting, and you can see that is going up and up. So that's something we're very proud of. Key Stage 4, you can see the headlines there. We're going up every single year. We had a slight impact on our maths this year. There was a reason for that. It won't happen again, and for 2 or 3 years in a row, if you look back on our results, you'll see our maths is actually being 78%. So we had a bit of a dip with the maths, but we don't expect that to impact going forward. Progress 8, that's the new measure. You'll have picked up, there's all sorts of new ways of measuring things now, and new accountability measures. The big one now is called Progress 8, and it's the amount of progress young people make across their subjects. Expected is 0. If it's a minus number, they haven't made the progress they should have made. If it's a plus number, then it means actually they've made more progress. You can see ours is a plus number, and significantly so. Value added is a similar measure. 1,000 means they've made the progress they should have made. Anything above 1,000 means you're adding value. Anything below 1,000 means you're not. Now, we are a truly comprehensive school, and we're proud to be a truly comprehensive school. We have young people from all prior ability ranges. We believe every single one of our young people can make fantastic progress, regardless of their starting point. But we are a comprehensive school. We have fair banding. Many schools in Lambeth actually are not. There is selection that goes on. There is not fair banding. Now, the fair banding process is designed to ensure that you take an equal number of students from each of the ability ranges. That's why they sit the test in November. Not all schools in Lambeth do that. Some of them do, like us, but not all of them do that. Similarly in Wandsworth. But we are a truly comprehensive school. We will stay a truly comprehensive school. So we would be expecting our results to be increasing on that, but we make steady progress year on year, which means it's sustainable. Now, I'm showing you this graph for a particular reason. Some of you will have read our Ofsted report from 3.5 years ago now, and it did mention the most able, and I know for some of you that is an issue, and you say, well, actually we like the school, but actually, are you going to push my young person because they're actually pretty bright and they're going to do well at Key Stage 2? Firstly, that report is 3.5 years old, so actually it is out of date. And we've made fantastic progress from them. You can imagine if it's on an Ofsted report, the school throws everything behind it to turn it round. It isn't accurate anymore, and I'm just showing you why. And this is data you cannot lie with because it comes from the government. So every year we have a document called Raise Online that is produced. It's to do with the league tables, and it's about this thick. And it's got every single measure you can possibly look at, comparing you nationally. And this is one bit of that. High prior attainment, so our more able students. You can see the figure out of brackets is our number. This is based on last year's. We haven't had this year's yet because it's not all validated and the document hasn't been produced. The number in brackets is the national figure. So you can see 5 A to C's including English and Maths, which was the measure last year. 96% of our more able students got their 5 A to C's including English and Maths. Nationally, that was only 91%. So we were above national. 5 A to C's, regardless of whether it's got English and Maths, 98% of our young people got that. And you're talking about one person that didn't, because of the numbers. Nationally, that's 95%. Again, we are above national. 100% of them got at least 5 A to G's, as you would definitely expect, but believe it or not, nationally, not every single high-attaining pupil gets 5 A to G's. The one where we've dipped is the EBAC. And there is a reason for that, and I've left it up there because I think it's important for us to be honest. We do not force our young people to do the EBAC, and I'll talk about the EBAC in a second. It's the qualification with English, maths, science, the humanities subjects and the languages. And you would have picked up that the government has been very keen to ensure that every single young people follows that suite of qualifications. We believe in choice. Yes, guided choice, and yes, the EBAC is appropriate for some of our young people, particularly if they're thinking of going to university or Russell Group University, but we give them a choice. Therefore, we will expect on the EBAC measure, we will be below national because we don't force our young people to do it. Lots of schools have gone down that road, and I'll explain our curriculum in a second. And then you'll see the basics is English and maths. We got 96%, nationally that was 91%. So that shows you that actually our high retaining pupils achieve better here than they do nationally. Similarly, and I showed this last year, those of you that were here last year, this was from the Raise Online the previous year, so the one I've just showed you was last year's, this was the previous year, just to show you that it wasn't a flash in the pan. It's reported slightly differently. The challenge we have is each year Raise Online looks slightly different, because the measures are always slightly different. This year it will be totally different to anything we've ever seen before. So it doesn't look exactly the same as I've just showed you because it was measured differently last year. But you can see low, middle and high. So students are categorised according to high, middle or low Key Stage 2 attainment. So if they haven't done particularly well at Key Stage 2, they're low prior attaining. Average is middle prior attaining. If they've done better than average, they're high prior attaining pupils. So we've got three groups there. Anything that is above 1,000, as I said with value added, is added value. If it's green, it is significantly added value. So you can see the journey this school has been on. So with our low prior attaining students, of which there may be students with significant special educational needs, we've gone from 1,022, 1,039, 1,055. The green ones are ours on that top rung. The numbers next to them is national. So for our low prior attaining pupils, we add significant value. So if your son or daughter is likely to be in that category, maybe has struggled with their learning, when they come here, they will make rapid progress. And that's the evidence over those number of years. Again, you can see the middle prior attaining, 1,013, 1,000, so 2013 wasn't the best year for us, but then look where they were in 2014. Again, significantly above national average. The key one here, because I've been talking about higher ability students, is look at the progress our higher ability students have made against national. So 988, so it was a low starting point, and that's where the school was in a very different place. 1002, which is above nationals. 1007, which was above nationals, and then last year was the table I've just shown you. So for those of you that are concerned about whether your son or daughter is going to make the progress, particularly if they're more able, there is the evidence that's presented by government. Those are not my figures, they come from the government, that shows you we definitely do add value. Now our curriculum is the second key ingredient here. We offer all the traditional academic subjects. So the EBAC is there, Key Stage 3, Key Stage 4 and Key Stage 5. But we offer much more than that. I mean, you can see there we've got Chinese, we offer Mandarin, right up to A-level, and I hope you've had a chance to go in there and practice your Chinese, but it's absolutely fantastic. So a really good range of solid academic subjects. But we don't stop there. We offer these as well. Now some of those are just from Key Stage 4, so citizenship would be Key Stage 4, politics and economics would be Key Stage 5, sociology, Key Stage 4 and 5. A lot of them, particularly the creative arts subjects, we offer right the way through. Now we have made a conscious decision here not to cut back on the creative arts subjects to save the EBAC. That's what I mean about our numbers of EBAC will be lower than most because we give people the choice. So your young person, if they were to join us, would have an hour of PE, an hour of dance, an hour of drama, an hour of music, an hour of art, alongside 5 hours of English, 5 hours of maths, 5 hours of science, where we do not compromise the academic subjects, But we believe the creative arts subjects and the wider subjects are just as important because they learn really valuable skills. So a young person who has the confidence to stand up in their class or stand up in their assembly and perform, and believe it or not, the atrium, when I arrived, young people were not allowed in the atrium. I still don't know why, but they were not allowed in the atrium. So one of the first things I did was to open the atrium up so that they could use the stairs and use that atrium. Now, every now and again, we get a flash dance. So our dance group will suddenly appear at lunchtime and do a dance, and then they'll disappear. So the whole school will come and watch, and if you look at our Twitters, our tweets, or whatever the phrase is, you will see pictures of literally the whole school coming in to watch the dance, cheer, and then off they go. Just like you see on the telly, they just suddenly go off and carry on whatever they were doing before. Similarly, we have young people standing at the top of the atrium, singing, playing music. So it's become the space of the young people. It's quite significant. But if you have the confidence to do that, then when you hit a difficult maths problem, you've got the confidence to give it a go. There is a direct correlation as far as I'm concerned. So we have absolutely no intention of reducing those subjects at Key Stage 3 because we believe they're important. Choice. Some of our young people have excelled at the creative arts subjects and have gone into business, gone into the world of work, really associated with that and been highly successful. We're part of United Learning, which is one of the biggest multi-academy trusts in the country. We have schools, I think it's 57 schools, right the way across the country. We work very closely. In fact, today, Ms Shepherd and myself have been with the other heads of principals who have come to London, and we've been sharing good practice. 12 of those schools are independent schools, some of the highest achieving independent schools in the country, so Guildford High, Surbiton High, Caterham and so on, and we share good practice with them. We have something across the group called United Classroom, so where we have schools that want to do more minority subjects, either at GCSE or at A-level, and another school in the group offers that, we will do it remotely. So 2 years ago we did astronomy in year 10, we worked with Surbiton High School. So on a Tuesday after school, 10 young people here would sit with their Google Chrome laptops, which they got free, and they would have a lesson via that on astronomy. At the same time, in Surbiton High School, there was a teacher who could teach astronomy with students from Surbiton High doing the same lesson. It was all done remotely, and those students sat and got a GCSE. This year, we are delivering economics to other schools within the group. That's something quite unique to really pick up and expand on those minority subjects. And they are additional subjects that students can pick up. We also now have up to 10% of our young people can be selected on their ability or potential to be bilingual in French and English. And if you are interested in that, Miss Vial is just outside here actually with a stall. She'll be happy to talk you through everything that we offer. Now it's not a pure bilingual stream. It's groups of young people that are identified through that particular process will stay together as a tutor group. They'll do French together, so they're really excelling their French, maybe moving on to do A-level very early on. Other qualifications, French qualifications. We've delivered humanities subjects in French as well, but the rest of the curriculum is in English, so it's a halfway house. And what we find is that the parents that want to do that, they want the English system, but they want their young people to be able to develop their French to a high level and not lose the French they've already mastered if they've mastered it, or they want them to gather that language very, very quickly. So if you're interested in that, please see Ms Vial outside at the end. The last bit, the last key ingredient for us is our ethos, and it's the wraparound. Again, there are stalls outside here for you to talk to the leaders of those areas about exactly what they do. But essentially, there are 4 areas to our ethos department. So we have the business and enterprise area. So we take careers education, information and guidance really seriously here from year 7. So from year 7, our young people are exposed to the business world. They're exposed to what careers are out there, what opportunities they may have, what do they need to do, what sort of portfolio do they need to be building, what sort of interests should they have if they want to do this or that profession. It may be a phase, it may not. but we want to be able to explore anything that our young people are interested in. So we have some fantastic businesses that work with us, and I'll show you examples of the sorts of businesses that work with us already. We're really, really big on student leadership. You've met many of them this evening, but I want our young people to literally run the school, to feel confident enough to run the school, to look after each other. Do you find our sixth form will be sitting in lessons with the younger students, helping? They'll mentor them. If we've got a young person who's having difficulty managing their behaviour, an older student will work with them and help them through that. We do that formally, but we also do it informally. We have our prefect system, we have our head boy and girl, as most schools do. But that means something to us. And a number of our policies that we've got have actually come from our young people. Mobile phones is an example. It was a bugbear for me. What do we do with mobile phones? We have to accept they're part of the future. And actually there's some great stuff you can do on mobile phones. But we also know there is a negative side. So we said to our young people, right, help us. We've banned them so far, and actually we know journeys to and from school, actually some of our young people travel quite a distance, they may have moved, they want to have their phones with them. So how can we harness the positive and get rid of the negative? And we've come up with a policy that works. So effectively, you can get your phone out at break and lunchtime. You shouldn't be texting and making calls, but if you want to listen to music, play some games, look at stuff on there with your friends, you may do so. At any other time, phones, headphones have to be away, and if they're seen, they're confiscated. In a lesson, if there's something on the board, homework, whatever, and the young person wants to take a photograph, with the teacher's permission, they may get the phone out and take a photograph. They may do a little bit of research. Occasionally in art, if they're working on something and they need to absolutely focus, they may listen quietly to music, but it's under the teacher's control. If they get the phone out at the wrong time, it is confiscated until the end of the lesson. That works. It's an example of student leadership, the students taking ownership of that. Co-curricular. We have a really wide selection of extracurricular, co-curricular, super-curricular programs, lunchtime, after school, weekends, all sorts of things going on. There's a stall out there that will show you what goes on from year 7 upwards. In the summer we have a We Are LA week. We do London. So we have an open-top bus that picks students up here and off they go around London. They do the London Eye, they go to the top of St Paul's, they walk along the South Bank, they do all sorts of stuff. They love it. Fantastic. And we subsidise that quite heavily. We do ask for a contribution from parents, but we subsidise that quite heavily because we think it's important. And our Higher Education and Scholars programme, we encourage our young people to look for university. That may not suit everybody, and that's not the expectation, but actually we offer a pathway from year 7. What does university mean? Residential to Cambridge for some of our students in year 7 to experience what university means. If I want to go to university, what have I got to do now? What sorts of subjects should I be studying to look at that subject? We start that from year 7. Alongside that, we have a scholars programme. So we identify our most able students from a whole range of data, and we offer a particularly programmed or tailored program for them that helps them to ensure that they get to the university of their choice. That may include Russell Group universities, it may include Oxbridge. We have had students go to Oxbridge. We know we need to start preparing for that earlier. So the scholars program, they are invited onto, there is a commitment from them, and then they're exposed to all sorts of opportunities to help them develop as young people. And again, there's an opportunity to talk to staff out there. I put at the bottom our inclusion department, because sometimes when I've talked about the Scholars and Higher Education programme, parents have come up to me and said, well, my young person has got special education needs, or my young person hasn't quite grasped English and maths. Do you support them as well? Well, yes, we do. We are a truly comprehensive school. We have students with us from all range of prior attainment. I don't say all range of ability, because actually I believe every young person, given the right environment, can achieve the very best. But they come to us with a range of need. We meet that need. Our inclusion department is upstairs on the first floor. If you have any concerns about that, please go and talk to them. You'll have seen our nurture room, our L5 room. So students who join us who may be really struggling with literacy and numeracy may have a statement of educational need or education health plan. There is an environment for them where they can really focus on their literacy and numeracy as well as mainstream. So underpinning all of that is our ability to be highly inclusive for every single young person here. And the data I showed you actually demonstrates the impact we have on those young people. These are the examples of higher education organisations that are already working with us, come into the school on a regular basis, and offer residentials and work experience placements. Excuse me. It's a bit small, but you'll recognise the logos of lots of these. These are the businesses. In fact, they're just a flavour of the businesses. Again, these are live, active partnerships. They're not just, oh yes, we'll work with you, but then nothing happens. They come into the school. They do mock interviews for our year 10 and 11, for our sixth form. They hold work experience placements. They do internships. So in year 10, all of our young people go on work experience. We have those placements already available. So these organisations have committed to offering work experience placements for our year 10. So they're getting a high quality experience. That doesn't mean that if our young people have got their own placement, they can't do that. Of course they can, as long as it's a quality and they're going to benefit from it. But we want them to have a really good experience, whether that's related to what they want to do later in life or not. For many of our young people, they don't know what they want to do. Therefore, it's about exposing them to lots of opportunities. That's our careers fair. We had over 60 businesses here in February. The whole school came back at 4 o'clock and walked the fair, even year 7, and started chatting to them. Our sixth form had business cards, starting to get used to networking and introducing themselves. Fantastic experience. We like to take our young people out of their comfort zone because that's where they learn. On the edge of discomfort, without making it really painful for them. Actually, if everything's comfortable, they're not going to learn. If we help to take them out of their comfort zone, they're going to learn. And of course, we're there to help them should they fail, should they feel that they failed, or feel they're slightly too far out of the edge of comfort. But that's where the magic begins. These are our values. They're around the room, they're all over the school, but they're real for us. They're not just words on a wall. They're written as behaviours, because that's how we behave with each other. You are a really important part of what we're doing here. There is a table for parents and carers if you want to talk. We've got some parent ambassadors here, so have a chat with them. They've got young people here from all ages, so they'll have the full range of experience. And we've got some feedback forms at that table just by the door. We're really interested to get some feedback for you. What worked here? What could we have done better? Any suggestions you've got at all? So if you've got 5 minutes, please complete one of those for us. There is refreshment in the canteen if you want to grab a refreshment and have a chat. But just finally, if you choose Lambeth Academy, you're choosing these here. We add value, I've showed you that. We care about each of our children. They're each unique, they're all different, and we want to make sure every single one of them achieves their potential. We have very high expectations. I have incredibly high expectations of myself, of my staff, of our young people, because I know they can achieve the best in life. We're a very strong team, and hopefully you've got a sense of that as you've walked around the school. We're open, we're reflective, we want to do it better. We can only do things better by listening to you. Our partnership with parents is something we're really focusing on, and we know when you move from primary to secondary, all of a sudden the barriers come up. And there's a perception you can't cross through the threshold in secondary. And actually we don't want that. We want you to feel you can be as involved at secondary as you are at primary. And that's something we're working on, and we want to hear from our parents about how we can do that better. And we are unique. We're proud to be unique. We're proud to be different. We're very clear about what we're here for. We're very clear about moral purpose. If that means we don't necessarily score as highly on the league tables, actually that doesn't matter. If we know we can hold our heads up high and know we have offered the best for our young people and given them a pathway so that they can continue to be successful later in life, then that's what we'll do, regardless of how that looks on league tables. So thank you very much indeed for your time. I've been a little bit longer than I had anticipated. Our guides are still out there, so if you want to carry on your tour, please feel free, have refreshments, have a chat with us. Thank you very much indeed, everybody.